Proving Donald Trump right, the leftists and the liberals could not help themselves. It looks like riots are back on the menu, boys, because people headed down to Portland and they started to act a fool. And the feds crushed these riots with some of the most, I don't want to say brutal, but let's just say decisive and immediate action. The videos posted by Andy Ngo of many of the clips down from on the ground in Portland. It's actually kind of incredible. But we're not just talking about Portland. As many of you know, Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away. It was announced last night. And rest in peace, with the utmost respect. Ruth Bader Ginsburg led an amazing life. Donald Trump gave a nice, heartfelt statement about her career. And she really was. She was a very strong individual who served this country. And even though you may disagree with her, and of course many people do, her service, she was someone who dedicated her life to this country and what she believed was right. And that is 100% respectable. And now the Republicans had a chance to replace her. And of course, you now have resistance type liberals. They're not necessarily far left. They're just tribalists screaming, burn it all down. Donald Trump has been handed a re-election silver platter. I don't know if Donald Trump is going to landslide. I know a lot of people like to say Trump landslide, and it may be the case. There's a lot of reasons to suggest this. I mean, when it comes to the economy, Donald Trump's approval rating is way higher than Joe Biden, or I should say, Donald Trump's approval rating on the economy is really, really good. And when it comes to the likely voters' thoughts on who would do a better job, Trump wins on the economy. And as you all know, it's the economy, stupid. But Trump doesn't have some weak points when it comes to healthcare for the most part. However, Donald Trump has been screaming law and order nonstop for the past several months because the riots won't stop. Now, I'll tell you what made me just basically say, you know what? I'm now a 2A gun owner. I don't want any gun control stuff. I'm done with this. It was the riots. You may notice I'm in a different room right now. We're setting up a new studio somewhere else, partly because I don't want to be anywhere near these cities. And I was right. And I told myself this years ago when I left New York City. I said, being in these dense urban centers, it's a really, really bad idea because I saw the politics. I saw what was going on. I saw the escalation of violence and tactics. And I said, don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of people living in cubicles on top of each other in a place that smells like sour milk. Sounds like a bad idea, right? Plus, you can't defend yourself. And as we all saw during the riots in New York City, there was one guy who put out a tweet. He was a leftist. He was a gun control guy. When a fight broke out, I believe it was actually inside his apartment building. He called 911 and they said, "Sir, the city is under attack. What would you have us do?" That's right. The police can't protect you, even in a big city. I got out. And, a lot of people said, Tim, you're exaggerating. You're being hyperbolic. Look at the riots that have taken place in Portland. I know I don't live in Portland. It's just one city. But we've seen riots in Lancaster, Kenosha, etc. They've popped up in many smaller towns, too, that most people don't even know about. And now the far left is active again in Portland, albeit the feds. This is amazing. I got to tell you, man, the feds smoked out the whole area with a dense, thick fog. You can't see anything. And then police ran up behind Antifa and just grabbed them and started. I don't understand why they did this in the first place. But I think now it's because they showed up to an ICE building, a direct assault on a federal building. I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Barr goes sedition on some of these people for attacking the feds. You got to see these videos, man. These people having shields and umbrellas marching like a phalanx towards the police line. Tear gas comes out. And then all of a sudden you see behind the extremists, the feds come in and just snatch them up, putting it down, ending it like that. And there's some video of dude getting punched several times on the ground. And I'm like, you get into territory I do not like. But I don't like the rioters. I don't like the extremists. And now here's the big problem. Joe Biden tried disavowing the riots. And guess what? They're yours now, baby, because all of these resistance liberals and high profile blue checks are screaming, burn it down, riot. Do not let them replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Congratulations, good sir. All your hard effort in saying that you do not condemn. Well, you don't condemn. I'll put it that way. Joe Biden has tried saying the riot and the violence is bad, peaceful protests. Congratulations, though. The liberals, your resistance whatevers, and the far left are now in agreement. We riot. And they don't agree about anything. I have one tweet from a high profile socialist saying, we don't care about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We're not going to vote for Joe Biden. And you got the resistance left saying, burn it all down. This is war. I'm sorry, Democrats own the riots now. You have just handed Donald Trump a gift on a silver platter because they could not help themselves. And that's been the story the entire time, right? The reason why Donald Trump has consistently done well is that they have never stopped to think about their actions. The far left and the Democrats, whatever that weird coalition is, the entire time, they haven't actually thought about what they're doing. There's no leadership. There's no unity. And there you go. Because of this, they're falling apart. Take a look at this story. Portland protests. You see it just updated in real time. Isn't that interesting? Portland protests resume. 11 arrested in unlawful assembly. As the smoke finally clears, demonstrations resume, this time in South Portland. They called for, what did they say? Be water, spread fire after the smoke from the wildfires was raging. And I guess many people were claiming that the riot stopped because of the wildfires. I don't think so. I think it's because a lot of the organizers got arrested. Well, of course, now you still had Antifa and Black Lives Matter show up and attack an ICE building. The only thing is there weren't that many there. Yeah, the numbers weren't they had enough people and they were throwing stuff at cops, but no big numbers like we've seen in the past. And ICE just crushed it. I think it was obvious what was going to happen. I got to tell you, man, these videos. But check this out. I'll tell you why this is so bad for Joe Biden and the Democrats. They are handing Trump a gift. As many of you have seen, I constantly reference the Civics registered voter net support for Black Lives Matter. It's at net 9%, down from 18 before the George Floyd incident. They have destroyed themselves. But let's bring it to my friend, Mr. Phil That Remains on YouTube, who has a nice thread aggregating some of the more insane things the left is saying. And I got to stop right here. Pause for a second. You know what Donald Trump is saying? Do you know what Republicans and conservatives are saying? I'm sorry, man. The conservatives right now are saying vote. The conservatives right now are saying appoint the Supreme Court nominee. Donald Trump is saying with respect to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And the left is saying burn it all down. High profile blue check mark leftists posting people's like private information, marching to their homes. Is that what the American people want? Now, maybe they'll cheat. I don't know. Maybe they're going to cheat and then Trump can't win. But I'll tell you this. I have to imagine regular Americans. You know, I've talked to so many people who have told me that the riots really flipped them away from the Democrats. They are sick and tired of the violence. They are sick and tired of the media and the smears. They just don't care. The Democrats have pushed them too hard and they're pushing harder and harder every day. I think about it like this. You come to me and say, yo, Orange Man is bad. I'm like, man, you're right. He is kind of bad. And you go, yeah, right. Yeah. And then you start screaming it again. Say the Orange Man. I'm like, okay, dude, I get it. He's bad. Then they start beating me over the face with it nonstop all day, every day, nothing else. And finally, I'm like, enough. Let the poor guy have a chance to do his job. I've heard people tell me that too, that they don't know much about politics, but the media it won't stop picking on him. So now they're like, give him a chance. Maybe the media this time will leave him alone. He can do his job. And so what do you see right now? Regular people. Okay, I'm a left-leaning independent voter. That's been the case for a long time. I'm kind of I'm the milquetoast fence sitter. And look, I didn't want to vote for Trump. I supported Tulsi and Yang in the primary. You guys probably know that if you follow my content. And with the riots, I was just like, I can't do it with these people because Kamala Harris was soliciting donations for them. Joe Biden's staff was doing the same. Joe Biden wants to come out and denounce it. He won't say Black Lives Matter. He won't say Antifa. And now his own supporters are screaming, burn it down. It's for Trump. That's it. You know what? What are they going to say at this point? They go to, I can't imagine a debate will happen. Donald Trump's going to go debate Joe Biden and he's going to say, Joe, every one of your supporters on social media, they're calling for violence. They're calling for riots. They're saying, burn it down. This is war. What do you have to say about that? Well, I disavow. You just call them out by name. What about your staff bailing these people out? That's a lie. You're a liar, Joe Biden. Check this out. Blue check mark. Dr. Dana Hanna. Block the nomination and burn it all down. Phil That Remains tweets this exchange from Alyssa Mastro. I realize I'm basically a stoner who makes jam at this point, but Schumer is going to shut down the Senate or we burn it down, right? This can't be a foregone conclusion. Laura Bassett. If McConnell jams someone through, which he will, there will be riots. Bo Willman. We're shutting this country down if Trump and McConnell try to ram through an appointment before the election. Reza Aslan. If they even try to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg, we burn the entire effing thing down. Then we have Aaron's book, Daddy File, saying, F no, burn it all down. You have M. McFarland, burn Congress down before letting Trump try to appoint anyone as SCOTUS. More posts. And these are just regular. I think this, I don't know. Who's this one? Not a blue check mark. I don't think you morons understand. So maybe let me try to be clearer. Do this. And it's M-effing war. Charlotte Clymer, Democrat, progressive. We're now walking to Mitch McConnell's house to protest. Are you nuts? You know what, man? Even if I wanted Democrats to win on some kind of policy, you know, Joe Biden's talked about like legalizing pot or something. I don't even know at this point because it doesn't matter to me. We can have the pot conversation later. And I tweet about it all the time that nonviolent drug offenses should be drug offenders should be released, pardoned, etc. with review because there's plea agreements. It's a little bit more complicated, but I'm very libertarian on the issue of nonviolent drug offense. Joe Biden's got a strong stance there. Well, not a strong stance, but he's got that issue listed on his site. We can't even have a conversation about it because these people are screaming in my ears like psychotic, like lunatics, and they're running around like chickens with their heads cut off and banging on walls like a zombie NPC horde, just like gargling. And I can't have a conversation with you guys. The other night, we did on the IRL podcast. I have Drew Holden, who is a great political commentator. He's on Twitter. You can check him out. And we were talking and I'm like, you're like a Catholic conservative. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, man, I'm like a secular liberal. Here we are having a good conversation about liberties, moral foundations, what we do next as a country, who should win. And we are like not aligned on political policy issues, tax issues, or like issues of life versus, pro-life versus pro-choice. And here we are having a good old time laughing with each other, being like, these people are nuts. So what am I supposed to do? I'd love to get it's you know what I got to tell you, man, it's insane that I would even consider calling these people liberals or moderates because I want a liberal. I am liberal. I want someone who represents me, but we don't have that. Joe Biden's sleepy, creepy Joe's fallen asleep and everyone around him is screaming at the top of their lungs, like blood curdling screams. And I actually got a tweet to show you. It's this image. Another sane reaction to RBG's death. This video is going insanely viral. This is, I'm sorry, man, with all due respect to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, because I think she led an incredible life and she was one of the strongest people to ever serve this country. And that's true, man. I mean, that's a fact. She pushed through. She had cancer several times. She had operations. She had sickness and she refused to back down. She stood her ground and eventually she just, she passed. Everybody has their time. So I have tremendous respect for her. And I disagree with some of the things she probably stood for. Yeah, admittedly, a lot of the work she did was well before my time and well before I was even alive. What we're seeing now is, I guess, as people are describing it, it's like Donald Trump winning all over again. I mean, that's what Drew said on the podcast last night. This woman posting this video where she's just screaming. Why would you make this video? I'm a regular dude, right? I guess not. I don't know. I've thought about my political opinions form in my stupid little closet studio. It's not really, but they form by me reading a bunch of different news sources. I don't sit down and have conversations with a few close friends and talk to them about what they think. I don't have coworkers where I'm like, what do you think? I read the news, I come up with ideas, and I just want a moderate individual. Donald Trump has been moderate, but he's also a populist and he's also a nationalist. These people are unhinged. I don't look. I would rather walk up to a Trump guy, like a 55-year-old guy with a big old beer belly, and he's got a Trump shirt on, and he's waving a flag, and he's like sitting in a rascal, and he's got like a 6-pack of beers and a big hoagie, and he's like, America. And I'm like, I can talk to that man. I can walk up to him and be like, you love America, sir? Yeah, you betcha. America. I'm like, all right, I get that, right? And he can be like, God's guns and Trump or whatever, and I'll be like, that I understand. It's not the most articulate conversation, but it's calm, rational, and you've expressed your sentiment. You walk up to these people and they're going, ah! Okay, I have no idea what you're doing. And you're just riding and burning everything down. So Phil's got another post. Look, there's another guy. I mean, look at this. It's just burn Mitch McConnell's house down. This guy tweeted this. Mount up, you dare try and replace her right now, and there will be war. That's a promise. Okay. Regular America, regular people, undecided voters, please. You know what, man? I just think Trump has to win. I do. I've had so many conversations with people about, who ends the riots and what needs to be done. And sure, let me tell you this. Maybe these people will stop rioting if you give them what they want and bend the knee. But do you want to live on your knees or do you want to live on your feet? A Donald Trump presidency just shuts all this down. He shut down the riots for at least a week. The riots came back and ICE crushed them. I mean, you got to watch these videos. They did a flanking maneuver with a smoke screen. I've never seen anything like it at any protest. The amount of Antifa that showed up in Portland was like nothing. It was like 10 or 12 people. And they were marching with their little umbrellas. Morons. People on their balcony apparently threw an egg down at them. And they're like, we got you on camera, man. It's like, shut up. Nobody likes you. You people are insane. I order stuff from Portland because they do actually have some really great small business, some food and stuff. And these are regular people. I ordered something recently from a company that produces sauce. And in it, they said, the receipt says, thank you so much. God bless America. And I'm like, here. I'm not religious. I do love America, but I respect you saying God bless America. I'm totally for that. I get it. There's, to me, nothing offensive or shocking about saying that. These people want to burn and destroy everything. So regular people, we're at a point now where, I've talked to some people and they've said, I don't know if Trump should win. He's kind of crazy. And I'm like, listen, 3 historic peace agreements, withdrawing our troops. I am happy with that. All right. There's a lot of things he hasn't done right. I get it. There's a lot of things he could do better. You know it. But compare that to Biden. What's Biden going to do with these people? He's going to say, oh, look, fat, you want to burn it all down? I'll give you whatever you want. Here's my wallet. Just please don't. Come on, man. Is that what you want? Or do you want the guy who's going to be like, no, excuse me, lock them up, send in the troops? I don't work under duress or threats. Donald Trump has put out these videos and ad campaigns and so Republicans saying in Biden's America, there will be violence and destruction. I think there will be a little bit. I do. But I do think the violence will be worse under if Trump gets reelected. But it's because it's them. It's not Trump supporters doing this. It's not regular Americans. It's not independent voters like us. It is lunatic far leftists who are running around burning everything down because they demand we give into their terror. No. I say to you, America, tell these people no. Tell them to F off. If they think we, as Americans, are the kind of people who will drop to our knees and plead, please, I'll give you anything you want if you stop rioting. No, we're the country that stood up, locked and loaded, and said, hey, Britain, F you. That's what America's all about. And we've created a truly amazing country we have. These people want to burn it all down. Let them have it. Let them say it. And let Trump go in with law enforcement like they're supposed to and arrest the criminals who would try and destroy our lives. Let's get back to business. Let's live our lives again. Let's find out how to be there for our friends and our families. Let's not let these people put a figurative knife to our throats and scream in our ears at close range, you better give me what I want or else. Because you know what my response would be? I would rather die on my feet than live on my knees. We are Americans. This country was founded on individual liberties, the consent of the governed, and you will not extort us. So I hope. It could very well be that a lot of people are scared. I've really had I've had conversations with people who are like, I just want the violence to stop. I'm scared. And I said, do not give in. If you negotiate with terrorists, they realize it works and they will keep doing it. You tell them, screw off. You will never coerce me. In fact, you come at me with threats, I'm going to go vote for Trump. Congratulations. You wanted to burn down these cities? I said, okay, then I'm voting for Trump. Is that what you wanted? No, you thought you were going to force me to vote for your guy by threatening me? I'll go vote for Trump. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell other people to vote for Trump. For every one person you try to coerce into voting for Joe Biden because you think he's going to be amenable or he's going to be malleable to your causes and you can push him in a progressive direction. You want to threaten people? Then I will go out and try and convince 2 more people to replace the one you coerced. I've never been a big fan of Donald Trump. And we had this conversation last night that Trump does not have the professional demeanor. He doesn't have the integrity that, he is an off the cuff entertainment personality. And that was big for a lot of people because, this is the highest office in the land, maybe even the world for a lot of people. And we got Donald Trump. But you know what? A good point to be made. As much as I can disagree with all that stuff and I can roll my eyes at it and go, ugh, here we go again with Trump. And, well, I need something effective right now. And Trump is effective. The economy was fantastic up until the COVID hit. I'm not going to blame Trump for a natural disaster, but they're counting on you forgetting. That's the game. They're counting on you forgetting because in an election year, a month is a lifetime. 2020, what does it feel like? 10 years already. And at the same time is flying by. It's kind of a weird year, huh? But they're hoping that you forget 3 years of prosperity. They're hoping you forget 3 years of the best numbers of our lives. I won't forget that. And Americans, for the most part, aren't either. That's why Trump is winning on the economy. So you want to come and point a figurative gun to my head. I'm not playing these games, dude. I'll vote for Donald Trump. You see, here's a statement from the president on the passing of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. He says, today our nation mourns the loss of a titan of the law. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg served more than 27 years as an associate justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. Notably, just the second woman to be appointed to the court. She was a loving wife to her late husband, Martin, and a dedicated mother to her 2 children. Renowned for her brilliant mind and her powerful dissents at the Supreme Court, Justice Ginsburg demonstrated that one can disagree without being disagreeable towards one's colleagues or different points of view. Her opinions, including well-known decisions regarding the legal equality of women and the disabled, have inspired all Americans and generations of great legal minds. A fighter to the end, Justice Ginsburg battled cancer and other very long odds throughout her remarkable life. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Ginsburg family and their loved ones during this difficult time. May her memory be a great and magnificent blessing to the world. With tremendous respect to Trump and with tremendous respect to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, this is the kind of stuff that I like and is inspirational. Donald Trump giving a professional and heartfelt statement on the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. There are a lot of Trump supporters who are making jokes and posting memes and mocking her death and things like that. And I absolutely detest it. But the one thing they're not doing is calling for violence. And so I'm sorry. If you told me, I got 2 people in front of me. One guy's mocking and laughing this woman who died, and the other person's lighting a fire. I'm going to be like, I'm going to go with the mean dude because he's not hitting anybody. You can say mean words, man. It doesn't affect me. I'll go about my business. But if I stand next to that guy, you're going to burn my house down. I have tremendous respect for the statement Trump put out. Joe Biden also gave a statement that was also heartfelt as well. I just don't think Joe Biden's got it. And I think these people who support him are insane. So I do think we're headed towards riots, man. I think, but I think Trump is going to crush them like we saw in Portland. I'm not kidding with these videos, man. I hope we make it through November, huh? I got to say, my final thought, just to reiterate one more time. All of these lunatics screaming, burn it down, this is war. They're going to go out and riot because Mitch McConnell's going to push through a nominee. And Trump will be happy. He will. Because you will have proved his point just before the election. That the left is a bunch of violent lunatics who want to burn everything down unless they get their way. And the American people do not give in to that coercion. Many do. But America is founded on defiant people who march around refusing to wear masks. I get it. In big cities, they wear their masks. The point is, we are pioneers. This country was founded on people who left their homes. This is the great melting pot of the world, from the original colonists all the way to the immigrants and everybody who came here, who left where they were to find a new life, to challenge themselves, but find that American dream. And they did. It's because they said, I know what I have to do to find a better way. They're not the people who say, I'm going to take this lying down. They're not the people who were facing a despotic home country and said, I guess I'll just sit here and take it. No, they got up and they changed their circumstances. The country was founded on this. And even the immigrants who come here every single day are following that same path, that I want these freedoms and I want the American dream. These are people who stood up and said, I will take action. You will not coerce us. I'll see you all at 1 p.m. on this channel in the next video. Thanks for hanging out.